All right, let a few more people join in and then we'll get started. Okay, well, we can continue to let people in as they join, but I'd like to open the meeting. So welcome everybody for joining us on this lovely evening from New York. My name is Stephanie Petrillo, and welcome to our program about the mentoring program at Murray Hill Institute. I've been a mentor with MHI since 2017, and I think you'll enjoy this program. I'm just looking at the waiting room, making sure I don't miss anybody. You'll get a variety of perspectives about mentoring and about the program here from both the mentors as well as the mentees, which I think it will be very interesting. I'm going to go through first our agenda for the evening, and I'm going to give you a little bit of the logistics of how the meeting is going to work. So many of you probably have gone to webinars with Zoom. So we're all in a virtual world now. This is actually a meeting, so we're going to ask you to do the mute and all those things. So I'll go through some of those logistics as well. So I see that we do have people that continue to join, which is wonderful. We're delighted to welcome you all to the meeting. I'm just going to go very quickly through the meeting so that we can go to what I call the fun stuff, which is the presenters and the presentations in the meeting and the Q&A. So we're doing the welcome and logistics now. And then we're going to have an introduction to the Institute and a mentoring overview. So that's really how the program works from the perspective of the woman who runs the program and coordinates all the activities. And then we're going to hear from 3 mentors and 3 mentees, and then give you an opportunity to ask questions of anybody in the group, and then do a wrap up. Pretty simple. Okay, so because this is being conducted as a meeting, and like I said, in a virtual world, I know people use different tools when they're doing the meetings, but just make sure to mute yourself if you're not speaking. For those of you that joined early, I think you probably heard the discussion, should I close my camera, should I leave my video on? Whatever you're comfortable doing is fine, but we do ask that you mute so that the noise doesn't interfere with the speaker. If you do have questions that you want to put into the chat that you want us to keep track of, put it into the chat area then rather than speaking while the presenters are sharing their updates with us. And I will keep track of those and make sure that we address as many of them as we can at the end of the program. All right, when we do get to the end of the program, if there's time, we'll try to take some interactive questions as well, but we do ask that you use the raise your hand feature of Zoom, okay? And finally, you'll see this signage a lot, and you probably got it in the emails. Please, go to the website, mhiinstitute.org, for more information on Murray Hill Institute and on the mentoring program. So we'll continue to provide those links for additional information over and above all of the information that you're going to get tonight. All right, so to start this program, I'm going to introduce you to Teresa Crawley, who is the president of Murray Hill Institute, and she will give you a little bit of background about herself and talk about MHI and the mentoring program. Teresa?
Thank you, Stephanie, and good evening, everyone. I am Teresa Crawley. I'm the president of Murray Hill Institute. It is my pleasure to give you a brief overview of the Institute. Murray Hill Institute is a leadership institute for women that fosters effective, ethical, person-centered leadership. At the Institute, we dream, we act, and we share. We dream of a better world where persons are more important than things, where we value interpersonal relationships over projects, and the common good is given precedence over material success. However, we embrace things, projects, and material success and use them to benefit persons, relationships, and the common good. We act, we convert our dreams into reality through hard, honest work, serving our families and society to try to make the world a better place. And we share. We share our dreams, we share our talents, we share our time, we share our resources, we share our experiences, we cherish friendships, we value community, and we strive to accompany each other in our progress to our lives and our careers. We think that the best way to actualize our dreams is through a program like the mentoring program, where you go from the theories into concrete situations in life. My first contact with the mentoring program was when I was working for the Colgate-Palmolive Company. My background is in chemical engineering. I have a doctorate in chemical engineering from the Massachusetts Institute of Technology. I worked at the Global Technology Center of the Colgate-Palmolive Company for 9 years. And at Colgate, I joined a leadership program which involved professional women from various corporations in New Jersey. At the program, which had a very strong mentoring component, I grew in my self-confidence. I improved my communication skills. I learned to navigate through ambiguities and manage uncertainties and change. I became a fan of mentoring. As I transitioned from the corporate to the not-for-profit sector, my belief in the efficacy of mentoring increased. So I was involved in various leadership programs involving high school students, university students, and young professional women. And at every step of the way, I remained an advocate of mentoring. We are here at the Institute to welcome any woman who is interested in joining us in this adventure of making the world a better place. We welcome your questions, and we're so excited that you're with us tonight. And here to present details of the program, I would like to introduce Elżbieta, the head of our mentoring program. Elżbieta?
Thank you, Teresa. My name is Elżbieta Naperala, and I am a director of Murray Hill Institute Mentoring Program. I am thrilled to be here and to give a short overview of the program's logistics and principles. But perhaps I start with a little bit of historical perspective, because I just realized that we are about to celebrate 10th anniversary of existence of Murray Hill Institute Mentoring Program. First group of our mentees started in January of 2011. So, perfect kickoff for this 2020-2021 year of mentoring. Some basic facts about the mentoring program are that, it's based on 8 meetings between a mentor and mentee. Obviously, these are one-on-one meetings that happen on typically monthly basis. So it takes around probably 1 year to finish a program. We think that this is kind of very good period of time for the mentor and mentee to get to know each other, for mentee to, work on their goals, to check the progress and make any changes if necessary. We propose for the mentoring program 8 topics, which range from leadership to career development, goal setting, managing up, etc. These are the topics that really apply to almost every workplace and every job situation. The topics are not cast in stone, but they serve as the kind of guidepost for the mentor and mentee discussions. But obviously the discussions are based on, specific needs of the mentee, and, the program are always, tailored this way. The mentoring topics that I just mentioned before are accompanied by the materials which are available to mentors and mentees on the website. There is a set of articles for each topic. Mentee can, read them before the meetings, after the meetings, and they are really available as long as you remember the password. And if you don't remember the password, you can always send me the email. We update the materials every 1 or 2 years and add the new materials as the circumstances call for that. For example, now we added the several articles on the topic of virtual workplace. But I think the thing about the Murray Hill Institute mentoring program that I would like to stress a lot, and the kind of hallmark of our program, is the fantastic group of mentors that we have. This is the group of professional women with, accomplished careers in various industries, which really are passionate about helping other young professional women. Obviously, they are doing mentoring outside of their workplace, and they are doing that because they like it, and they can really serve young professional women with very good advice and help. So we are, we think that our mentors are excellent from their professional perspective, but they also take care kind of the whole person. So the approach to mentoring, I think, of Murray Hill Institute mentors is, to have this kind of holistic approach and look at the good of the person. So in connection with that, what is very important in our program is that we match a mentor and mentee in the best possible way. And I think it's always very important. Often the matching is based, of course, on the professional circumstances of both mentor and mentee. If someone is working in financial industry, probably makes sense that to have the mentor from this same type of the company. But often the matching is done in a little bit different way. For example, some mentees would like to maybe seek more of the advice for career change or answer some question about where should we go in the future. And we have wonderful mentors that are able to help with this type of challenges that young professional women are maybe facing. So we do matching very carefully, and in some cases, they are very infrequent ones, we really have to say no to the mentees at a particular time. And maybe I don't like to use the word no, but usually we say, please wait, we are trying to find the best mentor for you. So even although 98% of the time we are able to find the perfect match, but sometimes we ask mentee to wait if they can, because such a mentor is not available at a particular period of time, moment of time. Another point that I would like to make about our mentoring program, also looking a little bit historically, we offered the program to young women that lived in New York City metropolitan area, because that's where most of our mentors were also residing. And the preferred method of meetings was really face-to-face. We, of course, allowed also phone calls or, meeting via some virtual platform, but I think in most cases, the meetings between mentees and mentors happen face-to-face. And all of a sudden, March of 2020 came and everything changed around us. And of course, on one hand, we are a little bit sorry that, this maybe personal touch is kind of lost, at least for time being, but it also opened for us new possibilities. So first of all, I have to say that probably the, mentoring is going to be happening virtually for foreseeable future, and mentor and mentee will choose their own platform, that they want to use to communicate. But because we are going virtual, we are able also to offer mentoring to women that reside outside New York City in some other parts of the country. And the wonderful things about this virtual approach is also that we will be able to reach to some of our mentors or some, wonderful professional women that we know who also lived in other parts of the countries. And now hopefully some of them will be able to join and support the program. So again, going virtual opens some new possibilities. Needless to say, if things kind of go back to normal, the people that reside in close geographical areas are encouraged to meet face-to-face if that will be their choosing. And finally, I would like to say that applying to mentoring program is, very simple. There is the website, there is the mentoring page, there is the application to fill in with some basic information, resume. That information gets eventually to me and myself with some other members of the mentoring committee. We are making the choice of the best mentor for this particular person. It usually takes, few weeks, sometimes a little bit longer, because the mentor maybe is not available or is still finishing with other mentees. But eventually, I think within, 2-3 weeks, the mentoring between the mentor and mentee can start, and they really organize their own schedule, how often and where and how they want to meet. Also, one encouragement, typically our mentoring program has the fee of $100 for the whole program, but we are waiving this fee right now, if people sign up by October 31st, or is it 30? I can't remember how many days are in October. So anyway, that was kind of short overview of our program. I think that there will be the Q&A part of the meeting that we can go back to some, logistic principles and questions that can be answered. But right now I would like to ask our mentors to speak. So that is, exciting part of the presentation here. And I would like to invite, Grace Perry to be the first one. Grace is not only our mentor, but she was one of the founding fathers, if I can say so, of the mentoring program. So Grace, you are next.
Thank you so very much, Elzbieta. Hello, everybody. My name is Grace Perry. My professional background has actually been in global human resources with a specific focus on development, HR development, as well as compensation and benefits on a global basis. Having spent a career mostly working for Fortune 100 companies that are located around the world. It gives you a perspective on how we're all kind of interconnected, especially as we're now entering into this new sort of global virtual world that we seem to be in. My background also provided me with the excellent opportunity to both experience career development within a corporate environment, but also to kind of understand personally some of the shortcomings of career development within a corporate environment, and how there might be more effective ways of delivering career development, sort of outside of a specific company. And so, as Elzbieta said, I've been a mentor within the Murray Hill Institute program, mentoring program, since its inception. I've been very fortunate to be able to apply my passion for really believing in the importance of strong support, career support within, we're all working through our careers, by helping to apply my background in really establishing the mentoring program for Murray Hill. And I've also been able to, over the years, continue to provide assistance where needed to help keep the program current and relevant, because that's a very important aspect of providing the sort of program that we provide at Murray Hill, is that circumstances and work, the nature of work, the nature of how we manage relationships and work, all of that evolves and changes. And one of the important aspects of the Murray Hill Institute program is we really do try to, as Elzbieta said, we look annually at updating aspects of the program to hopefully make sure we're addressing the changing conditions in the world as they impact the workplace. And, obviously, I think for all of us, one of the more, sort of big, almost overwhelming changes we're all working through now as it impacts our lives in general, and how we work in specifically, is what's happened with COVID, and how that's, increasingly we are looking at really a more virtual world, including a more virtual workplace. And, I think initially that seemed, and it still is, everybody's still working through what does that mean. It's a little scary because change is always that. It's both opportunity, but it's also fear, because it means adapting, how we view the world. But being virtual has enabled us to really almost kind of relook at how we deliver and how we think of delivering the mentoring program, and also making sure that we are at the forefront of understanding what this change means for our mentees as they are now trying to grapple with, how do I manage my career when I'm working from home or working virtually? And how does that impact how I continue to advance? And so that's a big change in a way that we try to keep the program current. Some important ways, is being a little bit of the historian, I guess, of some of the things we think about when we think about the mentoring program at Murray Hill, and maybe what differentiates us from other programs that might be company sponsored or that might be sponsored by other business organizations. Our mentoring program is one that we've always thought of as being very holistic. I mean, yes, we emphasize strong, practical leadership development skills, but we also, and Teresa mentioned this, we focus as well, we accompany that by focusing on ethical and humanistic values and behaviors in terms of the whole person. So it's not just the practical skills that we're trying to build, but also trying to help our mentees understand, well, how do I apply those, not just to my work, but looking holistically at some of the more, kind of ethical and humanistic issues of how I am as a person, because that's also very critical and important for us. Another thing that's very important about our program is that we're independent from any specific company environment. There may be some corporations that are still sponsoring mentoring programs, but that's always really focused on how you get ahead at that specific company, and that's understandable because that's their goal. I mean, that's kind of what their main focus would be. I think one of the unique aspects of what we offer is that it's, our program really is always focused only on looking at the individual participant and aligning both the focus and the program with the participant without any real influence from kind of an external organization. So if it turns out that a participant comes in and wants to talk about with their mentor, how do I advance in my current company, that's fine, that's great. The program is designed to help the mentee think through that process and how do I do that. But also, you can come in and talk about, well, maybe I'm not sure if this is the right place for me, or maybe, I thought I loved finance when I was in college, but now I'm not so sure, and I'd really like to explore that a little bit. And you're able to do that safely within our mentoring program, and we view that as a unique aspect. And finally, our program really, we try to help our participants kind of work through career and life goals and determine in a very caring and supportive environment the best possible direction, career direction for the participant. And we do think that that's a unique aspect of our program. So as you can see, I'm a bit passionate, but I do think that that's a differentiating factor for the Murray Hill Institute mentoring program. So without further ado, because I want to not take up too much of our time, I'm going to hand it over to Maria Amelia Salerno, another of our MHI mentors, to give her perspective on the program. Maria?
Thank you, Grace. Good evening. I'm very happy to be with you this afternoon. I am calling from California, so for me it's almost 4 p.m. I have been with Murray Hill Institute for approximately 2 years. Before moving to the United States, I was for 30 years a career counselor at ESE Business School in Barcelona, Spain. We had a 2-year MBA program, and myself, together with another group of professionals, we had the privilege to mentor and to guide hundreds of students that came to our program. Our program was not complex, but it was very strong in the sense that we would talk to a student and start from the very beginning by redoing their resume in order to have a very strong and powerful resume in order to differentiate themselves from the rest of the MBA world. Not only that, but we help them with the communication skills. We have a specific program for that, and also with the interviewing skills. So we did hundreds of mock interviews to help them excel in their interviews. And we also help them doing rehearsal for the negotiation of a salary, which is a very important part of a process. But most importantly, we were always celebrating whenever a student would accept an offer. So for us, it was a very complete process from the very beginning until the end, until we knew that the student was happy. But most importantly, I think that, and what remains with me after so many years, is the relationship that we had with the students along the years, and with many of them after a long time after finishing the program. So, but I would also, and going a little bit to what Grace said, mentoring, and in my personal view, mentoring is providing a safe environment for a candidate, for a mentee to express herself very, very safely. And where we as mentors try very hard to actively listen, to not being judgmental, to be very empathetic, but at the same time honest and very ethic. So when I moved to the U.S. and I was introduced to Murray Hill Institute, I was thrilled, because I knew that I could help other very talented women to thrive as well. So here we are. We're happy to help. And now I would like to give the word to Paula Carabelli. Paula?
Thank you very much, Maria. I'm honored to have this opportunity to be among such an amazing group of mentors. For the past 4 years, I've been a Murray Hill Institute mentor for young women in the arts. My own background was in fine arts, art history, and architectural interior design. However, my career began in retail design, thanks to one of my professors and mentors. Subsequently, I spent 10 formative years working with the iconic Naomi Leff, who not only was an amazing mentor, but gave me the opportunity to design prototype boutiques, landmark stores, and dramatic personal residence for her celebrity clients. It was kind of a dream job. Shortly after the New York Times featured our own Kips Bay showroom in 2005, my friend and associate, Martha Angus, and I launched our own bi-coastal design forum called Paula plus Martha. Having had wonderful mentors in my own career, I feel strongly about giving back to young women who are considering or navigating a career in the arts. Women in particular face a difficult work-life balance, often juggling careers and family life. As the mother of 4 sons with a career, I was faced with this challenge at a time when the previous generation was unable to help too much or give too much guidance. The goal at Murray Hill Institute is to give mentees advice and support in a non-judgmental environment. And our conversations, as you've heard, are confidential and aimed at boosting self-confidence while gaining the needed skills to thrive in the workplace. We're all part of a family at Murray Hill. We are women helping other women. Last but not least in importance, and as has been mentioned before, we at Murray Hill stress the importance of ethics in business. It's our goal to produce a generation of women leaders who not only embody competence and skill, but empathy for others and a commitment to give back to future generations. And now I'm pleased to introduce our first mentee, Alejandra Adams.
Thank you, Paula. Good evening, everyone. My name is Alejandra. I was in the mentoring program 2 years ago. After working retail for over 12 years, I wanted something different. I wanted to transition into corporate, but I wasn't sure what department to go to. This is where my mentor, Maria, came into play, helped me find my new adventure. She held me accountable. She always gave me those tough questions, asked me the tough questions, gave me the best advice, and helped me restore my confidence. With her support, I was able to find an office assistant job at a jewelry company. And a year later, I was promoted to office coordinator, which was the perfect job for me. It was exactly what I was looking for. I highly recommend this program because this is a strong support system and your mentors are from different industries who will help you in job development, in mock interviews, building resumes, and so much more. And in this process, I learned a lot about myself. After finishing the program, I gained a professional friend who I know I can always bounce off ideas for a new career choice, or if I have something that I need advice for, I know she's the go-to person. I know Maria will always have my best interest in heart, and I trust her to guide me the right path. A good friend of mine casually recommended me to join this program 2 years ago, and I'm so happy that I joined. I had a great experience. I'm happy to be part of this organization, and I can't wait to hear what Susha's experience was. Take it away, Susha.
Thank you, Alejandra. Hey, everyone. So I'm a little awkward on cam, but thanks for, the invitation and just having a platform to share, all of our experiences, which I think it's really helpful. So my name is Shusha Chen. I am a senior consultant at Ernst & Young for 2 years now. Prior to EY, I spent 2 years at Capgemini right out of college. And then during, I think it was mid-2018, I made the switch over to the new firm. I joined Murray Hill Institute around that time as well. And I signed up, got paired with a mentor. And actually, I got introduced to MHI through Jenny. I'm not sure if she's on the call, but shout out to you, Jenny. I think one of my key takeaways from being within MHI, it's not only the mentorship experience. I think it's the opportunity to meet all of the different women from different industries, as most of the folks have explained here. Two of the key takeaways is, being bold at the onset of your career in terms of telling your managers, senior managers, whomever you're reporting to at the time of a certain project, some of your career aspirations in the next few years, whether it is an international experience that you're chasing for, or a project that deals specific to like project management experiences, I think it's very key to voice those concerns and goals at the onset of the career. I think the second pointer I do want to elaborate on is to be aggressive in terms of networking and also building connections. I think what I realized from my transition to EY is, you know, based on the scale of and just the pure size of any large firm, it is so critical to make those strong connections. You know, when time comes, if there are things you need people to do for you, you know, those folks will be there to use their political capital and make things shift. That's really what I took away from, you know, this entire MHI experience. It's really the confidence to be bold and also to continue to be aggressive and proactive in making those connections. In terms of giving back, I think I'm always involved in a few of the side projects within EY in which me and a few of the other consultants are we're paired with rising high school seniors. So what we do is we would set up monthly chats from SAT tutoring to providing a lot of guidance on, you know, college applications, choosing colleges, what are the right majors, all those questions. Me and another consultant, we would provide that guidance along the way. So that's one way in terms of giving back. And I think with that, I'm going to transition it on to Madalena to introduce herself.
Can't hear you.
Hey, Madalena, you might be on mute. Once more.
All right.
Okay.
Okay, good. Thank you, Shusha. Good evening, everybody. My name is Maddalena Fanconi, mentee in 2019. I am a decorative painter and applicator of wall finishes. So my field blurs between design and construction. For this reason, I was mentee by Paola Caravelli, who is an amazing interior designer. My experience with the mentoring program was, of course, very positive and useful. What I appreciate most is that Murray Hill Institute choose carefully the proper mentor who can meet your expectation and needs. Also, the mentor gives you honest advices and feedbacks. My mentor example guided me to step up from a good quality production that I already have to present myself and my services to the marketplace in an effective way. During the mentoring time, you meet with your mentor. Also, the Institute organize other useful events and give you access to extra content to boost your career. Example, one event that I really liked was about how to do networking, led by Anne Brennan, who is a well-known life insurance broker. And this event was and still very helpful for me. Definitely there is no other mentoring in New York City and beyond for young professionals so well done at this price. It's worth the money for sure. It boosts your career and it's a tailor-made experience. So let's go for it. Now let's get back to Stephanie.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I like that. Go for it. So first, I would like to thank these extraordinary women for sharing their experiences with us from both sides of the mentoring relationship. Even having worked in the program myself, listening to them inspires me on both sides. Speaking as a mentor, I get as much out of the relationship from the mentees, I think, at least as I hope they get from me. Now, I will say, and something that I think all of you can relate to, when the meeting started up, despite all of my coaching and planning, I experienced a technical glitch. So it put me, you know, they're all laughing at me. So, and I think everybody can relate to this. So I didn't introduce myself properly. My background is in information technology for many years, first in the private sector and consumer products, and now I work for the city of New York. So my background, as you could see, the backgrounds of the mentors and the mentees even is very diverse, and I think that makes a very rich skill set from which to draw. We do at this time have some questions that we'd like to share with our speaker group for everybody to hear. Now, if you have some questions that you would like to ask the group, please feel free to put them into the chat. And if you'd like to participate into the question, you know, raise your hand in the Zoom function, and we would love to have everybody participate. So I'm going to start, if you're ready. Let's start with this question. How are the mentors chosen for a mentee? Because Madalena talked about the customization of the relationship. Elzbieta?
Well, yes, if I can take...
Sure, that'd be great.
Sure, thank you, Stephanie. And yes, as I said, the hallmark of our program, our mentors, and also another hallmark is, you know, the kind of care that we put into matching the mentors with the mentees. And, you know, I gave one example that, of course, very often it is based on the professional you know, commonality of mentor and mentee. For example, if I can just use example of Paula and Madalena, both of them in the field of arts and design. So that was kind of perfect match. I think Maria Amelia, if I can again use the example, has been a great mentor for some of our mentees that were kind of trying to answer the question, where should I go now? Should I, you know, change my career? Should I, you know, look for something else? And, you know, very often the mentees found unexpected answer to this question. So to the questions that, of course, they were asking ourselves. So I would say that, you know, again, the matching is based on the professional commonality, sometimes on the specific needs of the mentor, and, you know, some other aspects, and that comes out in the application from the mentee, and sometimes I also have the follow-up discussion. If I'm not sure and would like to get a little bit more background, I talk to mentee, then I talk to a mentor before making the match. You know, I reach out to other members of the committee for their advice, and you know, that's kind of the process that hopefully, you know, always ends in the good match between mentor and mentee.
Yeah, I remember Elzbieta, my first mentee, I questioned the match because it wasn't an industry match. And it actually worked out that dispositionally, personality-wise, it was an excellent match. So it was a very good job. So there's more to it than just, you know, you're a programmer or you're a finance person. So that was
yes,
very
excellent
good.
point. I think that in definitely in some of the matching, other things comes up to surface, which, you know, typically you don't think about it, but yet, you know, there is something else before just sharing the same job or the same industry in, you know, finding the best match for a mentee.
Okay, thank you. We have some live questions here. The first one is a question about clarifying the cost of the program. Who would like to take that one? Elzbieta, would you like to pick it?
Sure, and please add that, I mean, the fee for the program is $100 for the whole program. So we think it's very, you know, fair fee. And that includes, you know, the availability of materials on the website. Also, our mentees, you know, have access, of course, to all the, you know, events of Murray Hill Institute. Obviously now all the events are on Zoom, so, you know, everyone can join them. But in the past, and of course, hopefully in the future, some of the events are going to happen in person at Murray Hill Place in New York City. So, you know, these mentees that live close by, have the free access to a lot of seminars, cultural events, etc. And as I mentioned before, the fee is being waived until the end of October for the mentees that signed by that time. And also we have the situation that if the mentee was in the situation that was not able to pay for the program because of some special circumstances, we're also waiving the fee.
Okay, great, thank you.
So if anyone would like to add anything, please do.
Okay, I think that covers it. We have another question. I think this is a really good one. Are there limitations to become a mentee when you're going through a career transition? Okay, we do talk about this quite a bit, about career transitions and how being in the mentoring relationship can help.
Right, and I don't, maybe I just introduce some others to speak about this topic. I think Maria Amelia, I think you have been kind of very great expert in leading our young professionals through this type of challenges and questions in their life. So we did have, I think, mentees that you work with that actually were looking at where should I go next? Should I change? Should I not change?
Yeah, that's an excellent question. When you're trying to transition, you have to start by asking yourself a lot of questions, just to make sure that your answers are going to be really viable. There are many things that you need to do, and the first one is just look at the resume with an open mind and see what changes need to be made, because at the end of the day, the resume is your tool for employers to know you. And if you put a resume that is very strong and very compelling and tells a good story, it's the starting point. So after making sure that you have a very strong resume, then you need to start to prepare for the search. Sometimes it's painful, sometimes it's difficult. But if you're decided to do this transition, I don't see why not. You shouldn't. You have to try it. You have to be honest with yourself. You have to ask a lot of questions and meet a lot of people, and especially people that are in the area or in the sector that you would like to transition to. So it can be a long process. But it's doable if you're sure of that step and you work hard for it.
Okay, so I think that's great. I love some of the discussions going on. There's a question about the age limit. So I don't know, Teresa, would you like to take that question, or we'll give you the hard one?
So we our age limit, actually we mentor young professionals who are from 20 to 35 years old. 37 is so close to 35. I encourage you to apply. I think that was what you wrote, right? I read somewhere that you're 37.
You've got it exactly.
Please consider and see if it's going to help you. We're happy. We're here to help you.
Okay, so we have a question. Someone planning to go back to graduate school. Is it appropriate for them to apply? Would someone like to take that?
Yes, I think that there is a possibility here. It sometimes depends if the person that goes to graduate school, for example, may be thinking about the academic career. And in this case, we probably could possibly, you know, provide the right mentors that also are in academia. I mean, if this is the path that a particular person wants to take. But we did have also some mentees that were actually in graduate school, so they were not quite working yet, but they were, you know, preparing themselves to the workplace. And I myself had a mentee that was in graduate school, and shortly after finishing our mentoring program, you know, she entered into the professional environment and, you know, found the program very, you know, helpful. So even at the time that we were having the mentoring program, you know, not everything that we discussed were her experience, but still it was useful for her to get prepared that way. So I would say that in cases like that, a little bit on the edge, maybe additional discussion with me and maybe someone else would be helpful to assess if the mentoring program would be right for this person. So there is not always that clear-cut answers. Of course, if someone is, you know, starting in their studies and very beginning, you know, maybe going for mentoring program is a little bit premature, because probably some of the career advice they will find, you know, in the place that they are studying. But when they are closer to graduation or, you know, making some decision about the concrete profession, then it could be more appropriate.
Stephanie, may I add something to this? So
Sure.
we've had mentees who were working in a corporation and was considering, is graduate school for me?
Mhm.
So that is a common question, actually, and the mentoring program probably will help. Having a mentor will help that person, because it's the mentor will help her clarify her goals, and then you can actually determine if graduate school will deliver on your goals, or if it's if a different career path is more appropriate. Anyway, I'm not sure if you have anything to add, Maria Amelia, to this point.
No, I think you're exactly right. This requires a conversation, an honest conversation. As I always say, you have to be honest with yourself, honest with your mentor, and have a dialogue of, you know, what are your wishes, what are your desires, what are your dreams, and if that is possible, of course, we will always give an honest answer and say what we think. And of course, everybody is free to do what they consider more appropriate. But I think if that is what you're wanting to do, you can give it a try. Sure.
Okay. So last call for any live questions before we wrap. Okay. So at this point, I'd like to turn back to Teresa to close the session. And again, I'd like to thank all of the participants, including our attendees. And I think these were great questions. So thank you. Teresa?
Yes, thank you, Stephanie. Thank you for all your work. It has been fabulous, this information session. I encourage all of you to look over our, we have an Instagram page, a Facebook page, we have a website, to find out more about what we can offer you. But our passion is to help you. And so we think that by investing in you and your career, especially if you're interested in the ethics of positive social impact, then we are investing in a better future. So it's an adventure for us. It's something that we're excited about, and we are so eager for you to join us if you wish. Thank you very much. Stephanie?
Thank you. I posted some social media links, and of course, MHIinstitute.org is available all the time. And please let us know if you have any questions or you'd like some more information. We look forward to seeing some of you and meeting some of you in our mentoring program virtually and someday in person. All right. So I think that's a wrap, ladies.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Good night,
Right
everybody.
on.
Bye-bye.